Now at 5, the state Supreme Court issues a ruling on whether or not an 1849 law bans abortion in Wisconsin.
And a significant funding loss by the Madison Children's Museum, how it could impact what families experience on their visits there.
Plus, days after 2 firefighters were shot and killed in an ambush, we'll tell you about one of the victims' Wisconsin roots.
You're watching News 3 now at 5. And today we're bringing you team coverage as the Wisconsin Supreme Court has issued a major ruling.
That ruling strikes down Wisconsin's 1849 law that was used as a means of banning abortion in our state. Our Maddie Heimsch brings us reaction from groups on both sides of the issue. But first, we begin with our Arman Rahman. Arman, you have specific details about the ruling.
That's right, Susan and Eric. Attorney General Josh Kaul argued that after Roe v. Wade was overturned at the federal level, state laws written after Roe v. Wade would supersede any written before, including the 1849 law. Now, other than the 20-week abortion law enacted under the Scott Walker administration, there is no sweeping ban on abortion in the state of Wisconsin. Kaul says it was an effort to get clarity for Wisconsinites, including healthcare providers. Kaul says it kept OBGYN students from coming to Wisconsin to study, and an OBGYN in Madison, Dr. Amy Domeyer, recalled how she cared for patients who had to cross state lines to get reproductive care for the 15 months the 1849 law was law of the land.
Today, we celebrate this milestone in reaffirming a patient's ability to access abortion services in Wisconsin, but we also recognize the essential steps that must be taken to ensure that true access to care is met.
And Dr. Domeyer says that's due to the actions against Medicare and Medicaid and other laws currently sitting before the U.S. Congress. Now, another case the Supreme Court heard against Wisconsin's 1849 law was dismissed. That was one brought by Planned Parenthood. It could have made abortion a constitutionally recognized right. Now that case won't go through, but our Maddie Heimsch spoke to Planned Parenthood representatives and asked them if today's case was still a win.
The court's decision in the Kaul case and subsequent dropping of the Planned Parenthood case means the state won't enforce that nearly full abortion ban. But it also doesn't enshrine abortion as a constitutional right, leaving the door open for challenges. Michelle Velasquez with Planned Parenthood says the decision is a win.
It just reaffirms what we already knew, which was that a 19th century law didn't just come back to life following the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And it was really important for the Wisconsin Supreme Court to affirm that.
But also says Planned Parenthood is ready to continue the fight to recognize the right to abortion constitutionally. Meanwhile, we received a statement from pro-life organization Wisconsin Family Action, who say they'll continue the fight as well. In it, President Daniel Degner said, quote, "The court's actions today are less about faithfully reflecting the text as historically understood and more about crafting a political win for the abortion lobby." I'll be speaking with both organizations tonight at 10, hear what they say are next steps in that fight.
All right, Maddie, thank you. Now let's take a look at how we got here. It was 1973. The U.S. Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision legalized abortion nationwide, and of course it stood for nearly 50 years. In 2022, Dobbs versus Jackson, women's health organization, overturned Roe v. Wade in Wisconsin. That ruling revived that nearly 175-year-old abortion ban from way back in 1849. Then in 2023, a Dane County judge ruled the 1849 law only applied to feticide, not consensual abortions. After that, Sheboygan County DA Joel Ermansky challenged the ruling to uphold the ban, and today the Wisconsin Supreme Court rejected his argument, effectively striking down that 1849 law.
Thank you, Eric. Let's get a check on the weather now. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is watching the radar closely as people head downtown for concerts on the square tonight.
Indeed, yes, I am watching every radar update as we do have some thunderstorms off towards the north and towards the east, well to the north and east up towards Wausau and Green Bay, where there have been a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. But when you see what's called outflow, that's this green that I'm circling right here, that's cool air out ahead of thunderstorms. That usually is a sign that these storms are going to pulse up and pulse down and not be widespread and not last for a long period of time. Then we look at future track. All of our weather models have been showing that these thunderstorms trying to come down from the north and from the northeast, and even some trying to enter southwest Wisconsin, again, pulse up and then they fizzle out. So that's why, as we talk with Joe and folks with Concerts on the Square, we're pretty confident that even though there is that isolated chance of a thunderstorm and perhaps a strong thunderstorm, most places are going to stay dry this evening. Although if you're ready to head downtown, bring that umbrella just in case. It's going to be muggy, it's going to be warm, but we got more muggy and we got more warm weather in the forecast. How warm will the 4th be? I'll let you know coming up.
All right, Alex, thank you. Here is a live look now at Milwaukee Mitchell Airport. Several cars were stolen there as part of an interstate car theft ring. But now 23 suspects face federal indictments for their involvement. Investigation started in 2022 when a license plate was found in rural Kenosha County, and that led officers to a stolen vehicle from Milwaukee. Between then and now, several search warrants were executed here in Madison, also in La Crosse, Sun Prairie, and Chicago. High-end vehicles were targeted and stolen from residents around Mitchell Airport in Milwaukee using scanning devices and cloning tools. And then VINs and radios were swapped out before being sold for cash. Vehicles were sold all over the country, including Florida and Georgia. The money from those sales was funneled into fake LLCs before being used to buy real estate. Then that real estate was sold and the money was laundered. Search warrants also uncovered a drug nexus in Indiana and found large amounts of heroin and methamphetamine.
The Madison Children's Museum is the latest nonprofit to be impacted by losing federal funding.
The museum said it lost up to 10% of its budget after grants were taken away. Our Tanisha Shaw reports on the differences that families will see when they visit.
The Madison Children's Museum is going through changes and uncertainty.
We're going to make sure that we are able to keep our access programs, which provides free or reduced admission so that all families can come to the museum.
Charlotte Cummins is a director at Madison's Children's Museum and said that the nonprofit lost 5 to 10% of their operational budget from 2 of their biggest federal grants, the Institute of Museums and Library Services and the National Endowment for Humanities. They lost approximately $400,000. Leading to 13 layoffs.
So with those deep cuts, we are feeling confident that we can get the museum back onto a stable ground and be able to move forward.
Because of the staffing cuts, the biggest difference that parents will notice is less events hosted by the Madison Children's Museum and less staff around while kids play.
And so we're going to have to change up some of the things we do. We will still have staff available, but some of the things that will be different is we'll have reduced programming.
Cummins says a lot of local nonprofits are feeling unsure right now.
I think everybody right now in Madison and across the nation is wondering what's going to happen to their jobs. I think every single person that makes us all pause when we hear that our neighbors are being laid off.
The museum is confident that they will be fine throughout this fiscal year. And no matter what, they're going to prioritize their core programs.
The ones we definitely need to hold on to is making sure that we can have groups of kids come, preferably with their families, because that's where it makes the most impact. And for them to be able to get in free or reduced costs is really important to us. And for us to be able to keep open our Pay What You Can cafe.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Workers at Mercy Health East Clinic in Janesville are now on strike. Many UAW Local 95 members gathering and holding signs outside the facility this morning. Those striking members of the union are clerical workers, coders, and nurses, among others. Union leadership says the strike is aimed at getting an increase in pay due to the continued increase in inflation. The latest negotiations broke down between the two parties, resulting in the strike.
I just want to say Mercy's not a bad place to work for. I just wish they appreciated us as much as they appreciate their CEO and their MVPs. It's just better wages and better insurance.
Now, the union last reached an agreement with Mercy Health back in 2022. Mercy Health said it plans to implement a strategic plan to continue providing care to patients during the strike. The union says it doesn't know how long the work stoppage will last.
Well, today is the start of the 99th Stoughton Fair. Not only does it bring people together for funnel cakes, music, and 4-H displays, all the good stuff at a fair, it also serves as a fundraiser for multiple causes.
And our Jalen Banks joins us live now from the Stoughton Fair from inside the dairy barn. Jalen, what do you have for us?
Hi, Eric and Susan. As you just said, I'm inside the dairy barn right now. We're a little bit over 24 hours out from the start of the dairy showings now. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm a city boy, so I know little about dairy showings and dairy farms. So just to help me understand it a little bit better, I'm joined by Lila, Izzy, and Addison from the Fulton 4-H Club. So guys, I understand you guys have some dairy cows of your own. Describe to me what dairy showing is and how you guys get them ready.
Dairy showing is taking a calf and walking around in a ring while someone judges the way your calf looks and walks, etc.
So, Izzy, your dairy cow Claire's right here. So tell me exactly how you get Claire ready for the showings.
Throughout the months.
Whatever the process is.
So the process of getting her ready for showing is, well, at first you take care of them before you take them to the fair, like getting them prepared to walk, making sure you can get their feet placement right and their head up, but also clipping so when you get to the fair, you're gonna have to clip your cow so she looks all nice and shaven, how she does, and then you want to keep their top line nice and long, so you're able to brush it up so it's straight up for the showing, because judges really like that. So I'd say that's pretty much what you do.
So how many days this week are you guys showing, and when can we expect you guys to start winning some prizes?
Tomorrow and on Sunday.
One more time?
We show tomorrow on Thursday and on Sunday.
Are you guys confident you're going to get things done? We looking for a W? How are we feeling?
I feel like I'm gonna get dragged through the whole entire ring. I'm feeling pretty confident about my cows this year because they're pretty good. Well, to me, they're pretty good, and I really like them this year.
So before we had started our shot here, you guys told me that you wanted to do something for the camera.
Yes.
Is that so? You guys want to go ahead and do it?
Our dab on the haters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Thank you guys for, showing us your calves, and, good luck tomorrow. But I'm going to send it back to you guys. I'm going to try to check out some more dairy cows, but for now, reporting live from the Stoughton Fair, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Well done, City Slicker.
Yeah, good education there for Jalen. The girls were great there.
Lots to learn.
That is a time-honored tradition.
It is, and it's so much work that goes into that.
They put a lot in. You tell they're close to their calves. Good luck to them.
Well, next, getting closer to the holiday weekend, Alex will have your complete forecast.
And Sarah Carlson, Chris Stanford will join us live next from downtown Madison. A preview of week 2 of concerts on the square. And on Wall Street, the Dow closes down 10.5 points in midweek trading. The NASDAQ with a strong 190-point gain, and it's a 6th straight record high close for the S&P, up 29. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, there are only 6 in the summer season, and tonight is week 2 of Concerts on the Square.
The decades-long tradition continues to grow every year.
Our Sarah Carlson and Chris Stanford are joining us live with the maestro from the Capitol lawn. Hi, guys. Tell us about tonight's show.
Hi. You are missing an amazing tease for what you're going to hear later. We do have the maestro, Andrew Sewell, with us. This is the Independence Day celebration, in addition to some award-winning young artists who we're just hearing a warm-up from.
Yes, in fact, we've got 2 winners this year for our Young Concert Artist winner. A 14-year-old, now 15, his name is Andre Previn Peck, and he's from La Crosse. And then we have a local Middleton violinist, Indre Raikhavan, who's won numerous competitions. Both of them are going to be featured in the first half. And then in the second half, you'll hear the Armed Forces Salute and the 1812 Overture, which is a tradition here on the square, complete with the cannon fire, which will come from the top of the Tipsy Cow building.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, this is something that so many people here in Madison look forward to every year as part of their 4th of July tradition.
Yes.
What does it mean for you to be able to offer something like that for the city? I mean, do you think about it in a context like that, or this is like, wow, what an opportunity to bring the city together and celebrate our nation?
I think it's always very special. I think the fact that we do honor our veterans and folks doing that Armed Forces Salute, it brings a lot of veterans downtown as well, and it's just a time for everyone to celebrate the freedoms that we do enjoy. And yes, we're going into a full weekend, aren't we?
There we are.
And we have less than 2 hours, and here you are calmly speaking with us.
Not so calmly.
Old hat for somebody who's been doing it for 26 years.
Right.
Well, last week was a different story, and it's so nice to have the weather looking so nice. Oh, the sun's just gone behind a cloud. Well, isn't that nice?
Oh, it's so lovely. I mean, it's
nice and cool.
It's a beautiful night out here. There are still plenty of spaces available on the lawn, so if you're thinking about bringing your blanket down and setting up shop, there's still room to do so. And of course, we got to make sure that we mention the website where people can donate, because although you offer this for free, it does not come free.
No, that's right. If you go to wcoconcerts.org/donate, you can become a friend of the orchestra for $5 a month. It's cheaper than Netflix. There you go.
Oh, big time. Thank you so much, the Maestro, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to the show.
Always nice to see you.
Eric, Susan, we'll send it back to you.
All right, yeah, not nearly the stress we had last week with the forecast. Alex can tell us more about that. It looks a lot better out tonight, Alex.
Yes, a lot better. And with our weather forecast for tonight, radar 3000 showing some showers and thunderstorms, but not that widespread stuff that we were keeping a very close eye on last week, where we nearly squeezed in concerts on the square. As we move off towards the south and to the west, one lone shower if you're over on Highway 14 near the Boscoville area. And I bring this up because these are pop-up showers and thunderstorms. And as we get towards 7 o'clock, that all-important moment here, watch what happens on Future Track. The showers and the few thunderstorms go away. They pulse up, then they pulse down. And as we go into Thursday, a little bit of a better chance of showers and thunderstorms as a warm front moves in from the south and from the west, and that's going to really ratchet up the humidity and the heat as we go Thursday night into Friday. Maybe a storm in the morning, but all indications are right now it will probably sneak in the 4th of July evening with clear skies, breezy conditions, and also hot and muggy conditions as well as we go Friday night into Saturday. Then a cold front's going to come in from the north and from the west, entering southwest Wisconsin by about 4 o'clock. And then the rest of us getting those showers and storms with that fairly strong cold front Saturday night going on into Sunday morning. And that will end the hot, humid stuff. We'll show you those temperatures in just a moment. Any storm that can pulse up and potentially get strong, gusty winds and hail, but that threat is isolated. It's very low tonight. It's also low on Thursday. Now, fast forward to Friday here, the all-important day as well. 72 at 7 a.m., 83 at noon. We'll go for a high of 91, just a degree cooler at 4 o'clock at 90 with sunny conditions, low storm chances, but I also want to highlight here, 95 to 100. That's the heat index. That's what your body is going to be reacting to. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate as we go from Friday into Saturday with hot temperatures, and then that cold front comes through and those temperatures will slide back down to where they should be for this time of year for July, in the 80s by day and the 60s by night.
All right, Alex, thank you. Still to come at 5, a follow-up to the ambush of firefighters in Idaho reveals a Wisconsin connection for one of the victims. The story just ahead.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
On Sunday, 2 firefighters were killed and 1 was wounded in Idaho after a 20-year-old allegedly set a fire and ambushed them.
And one of those firefighters grew up in Wisconsin. David Go tells us how Frank Harwood is being remembered by his Neenah classmates.
Frank Harwood, Kootenai County Fire and Rescue Battalion Chief in Idaho, was one of 2 firefighters tragically killed in the ambush over the weekend, and a 2001 graduate of Neenah High School.
I was stunned.
Mike Robinson was a childhood friend as soon as Harwood arrived in Neenah.
4th grade at Coolidge Elementary back in Neenah. The teacher picked me to be his buddy to show him around.
The 2 eventually becoming a big part of Neenah's football team in 2000.
Frank was so impressive. You know, he was a great athlete. You know, I remember how hard he worked and how he always listened to his coaches, and he always had a quiet talent. You know, he always let his actions speak for his work instead of being a big talker like, you know, a lot of other kids are.
He's now a local politician and attorney, but 25 years ago, Ron Tussler shared the field with Harwood.
We sweat together, you know, we got tired together, we panted together.
But Robinson was close with Harwood through school, sharing photos of the group from Neenah's class of 2001, and some in the years following.
Out of all those people, I mean, I would characterize him as the best of us. He was like, again, the glue, the guy you could count on.
Harwood moved out west after high school, serving in Iraq, and then returning to become a firefighter, working his way up to battalion chief in his 17 years with Kootenai County Fire and Rescue.
When I saw his rank and I realized he was a battalion chief, I'm like, well, man, that was like a natural fit, a natural evolution.
Tragically, his life taken at age 42.
Just one of those good, decent friends. It was great to see him evolve into a dad, you know, in a a firefighter, a professional, always out there willing to help and sacrifice. He's a veteran, friendly, funny, and to have that happen to him like that, and an even deeper tragedy, you know, he's got 2 young kids about the same age as our kids, and we all know what that's all about, the effort and the time that takes. And yeah, it's been tough.
And stay with us for a final check of your first warn forecast.
They are among the most magnificent creatures in North America, but there are new concerns about their future. What's the threat? We'll tell you. And imagine flying a passenger jet and losing contact with air traffic control. Chris Van Cleve shows us how pilots train to get you on the ground safely. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up at 6, Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban has been struck down. We'll hear from those calling it a win and those who say this could be a dangerous precedent. That story and more next hour. News 3 Now at 6.
And Alex is here with a final check of the weather. What's in store tonight?
Keeping a close eye on Raider 3000. We've got concerts on the square here just in approximately an hour and a half. Those showers and thunderstorms over central and northern parts of the state. All of our weather models for days, including today, fizzle those storms out. And we see a fresh update here with those storms struggling to make it to the south. So it looks like right now, concerts on the square is going to be a go, but if you're still heading downtown, maybe just take an umbrella with you just in case we do get a shower or storm to pop up briefly. Then a muggy day as we head after our concerts on the square into Thursday. And as we head to Friday, we got a fan forecast. We got the softball game. This is a great way to showcase how hot it's going to be, right around 90 first inning. And then the fireworks looking clear, but muggy, and the heat index value is up to 95. So you're going to want to hydrate coming up at 6. We'll let you know what those temperatures are going to be like next week.
All right, Alex, thank you. And thanks for watching News 3 Now at 5. Coming up next, the CBS Evening News, and we'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a good evening, everybody. You can always catch us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.